All right, I'm going to start out by tuning. I'm in drop D right now, and I'm going to change that. Pull up a tuner. I think. There we are. There's a tuner. How's everyone doing this morning? Thanksgiving week. I hope you have something to be thankful for. Surely you do. It's kind of a great way to start your day is to think about all the things you're thankful for. I know some of us are struggling with health issues. I'm doing better. My eye is better, but oh, you know what? I forgot to do, oh well. I got eye drops I have to do every 2 hours. All right. Still not in tune. The trouble with a whammy bar is that when you go to drop D, you have to retune everything. If I did this on a Les Paul, it would be an issue. A little string piece here hanging out. All right. Hey, Zuhair's first. Richard, what's going on? I miss our little handles that we had. Now we got your actually official handle, so I probably need to make a list of people's handles with their real names. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Where would I? Let's see. I can just do pages. No, I'll do text edit. Oops. Why is my X not working? There it goes. All right, let's see here. New document. And I'm going to go super big print because I'm blind as a bat. It's like 20. All right, so Zuharaza. Is that right? No. Okay, Zuhar, what's your name you want me to call you? Richard, you're fairly easy. Richard Abul. Everybody's going by so fast. Zuhair. Okay, you want me to call you Zuhair? That's fine. I'll call you whatever you want. Abul. I don't know why I always thought it said Abdul. Abul. All right, and that's just Richard, I think. Oh, okay, so Zuhair, yeah, okay, so I've been saying it right. You just never know with handles, you know. Mine's T Strahle, so it's like, well, what's the T stand for? And that's once you know that, you're golden. Mine's pretty straight, and so yours is just your name. So that's like, I mean, and it's interesting. That's what's going on. It's cold here, cold there, huh? Oh, there's Bob. Okay. Um, wow. So it's going to be a lean day, maybe, or am I early? I'm early. Well, no, I'm actually late. Weird. It's Monday, right? Um, so yeah, we're gonna talk about songwriting. Today last week we kind of talked about everybody's favorite songwriters or some of the best songwriters, and I can go back to that. I have that right here, which is cool. I can do boop. There it is. So that list is still there, and then I can click on this. And we're back to here. But what I want to talk about is writing riffs. Hey, Bruce is here. Good morning. Thanks for your note last night. And thanks for telling people about the videos, the shopping videos. Bruce, we have a new video that's kind of got a flame. It's on fire right now, which is, I love it. It just cracks me up how it happened. Let's see. The video is at least a year old. Let me see. And so consequently, I'm doing a follow-up video. The follow-ups never do as well as the original. I remember I did that with the 5 songs with 2 chords, and that thing took off. And then I did 5 more songs, and then Son of 5 more songs or something like that. And those didn't do as nearly as well. In fact, it wasn't even close. So the one that's suddenly taken off, so it's up to 35,000 views, which is nice. But you gotta like the trajectory on it. So it's, how old is it? Well, 525 days old. So it's over a year and a half old. About a year and a half old. June 2024. That's crazy. So it's just suddenly gotten popular. It was sitting there for a while, and it kind of got some steam, and now it's just like in the last 3 or 4 days, and it's generated 500 new subscribers. So like I said, 35,000 views. Not sure why, but retention's not great. But I don't know that retention's any different than any other video. I think once people get the gist of it, they kind of like, I mean, retention's 62% at about a fifth of the way in, which isn't bad, actually. That's pretty good. So people are watching a fifth, if you watch less than 30 seconds of video, I doubt that you get anything. Hey, 6ix9ine is here. You get much for it, but so I was going to talk about riffs. It's because it's a holiday week. It's probably going to be light. It could be busy. I don't know. Everybody's sleeping in. Beth has the week off. But we talk about riffs, and I could do it on acoustic. My Martin is tuned to DADGAD right now because I was coming up with some more progressions, fun progressions in DADGAD. But the premise of what I was going to talk about today is kind of like riff songs, like Zeppelin. Zeppelin has a lot of songs. In fact, Zeppelin is in Kashmir is in DADGAD, right? Was it? Something like that. I don't want to do it wrong. I knew it at one point. I remember when it first came out, I had no idea it was in DADGAD, so I was trying to do it in standard. Yes, Greta Van Fleet is a very good riff band. There's so many of those really, really good riff bands, but you're right. They do Zeppelin covers too, but they know how to write a Zeppelin riff. And I mean, I think is that right? Even if I think that's right. Guys, here's the problem. I used to teach, when I taught guitar lessons, I taught a lot of songs, right? For 35 years I taught private lessons. From the age of 15, I was teaching private lessons to the age of 50. And so all those songs were a little bit more on the tip of my fingers, so to speak. And now not so much, because I don't ever play them. I don't ever teach them. So it's like, wow, how does that song go again? Hey, howdy, Holly. You should change that. That should be your handle. Howdy, Holly. Howdy, Holly. But so like we can kind of analyze. I can analyze some of these riffs. That riff. So if you play like an E minor blues, okay, or we played E minor pentatonic. Let's look at E minor pentatonic real quick. We have E, open E, then the third fret is G, and then we have the open A, and then we have the second fret, which is B. All right. Now I want to do the next note instead of on the open D string. Let's do it here. Okay. So we play the B, and now we're playing the D here, and then maybe play the E here. Okay. So we got. Okay. Now, as you look at that, in fact, if I play it like this, you see that E, and that sounds like. Who is that? Dang it. Hey, Eddie, what's going on? Oh, hey. Oh, Richard. Sorry, I thought that said something else. Okay. Is that? It's not. I'm not thinking of. No. That's a good riff, though. We could talk about that one too. But Smoke on the Water. No, this one. I spy. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to see, isn't it? But yeah, well, I guess you could see it okay there. Yeah, that's funny. I changed these strings just the other day, and I guess I clipped all of them but that one, and that's so weird. I forgot. I must have gotten sidetracked. Phone call or something. But okay, my only point is showing you this pentatonic scale: E, G, A, B, D, and E. I'm showing you that way. We have two intervals happening. There are only two intervals. There's a minor third and there's a major second. Okay, don't worry, no quiz on interval theory or anything like that. A minor third is 3 frets. Okay, that's a minor third. Okay, and then a major second is 2 frets. Okay. So then so from E to G is a minor third, G to A is a major second, A to B, 2 frets, major second, B to D, minor third, and D to E, major second. So we have a minor third. In fact, let's do it all on one string. That actually would really make sense in the context of Dazed and Confused. Open E, then 3rd fret. Okay, so that's a minor third. Then the 5th fret, major second, another major second. So that means we're going to go up 2 frets. 7th fret, minor third. Okay. And then a major second. And then if we keep going, we need a minor third from the E to G. And we keep going, A, major second, and B. And we can even go, I have 22 frets, so I can go up to D here. All right, so there's 2 minor thirds in there. All right. So typical songs are in 4/4. Songs will often go by in 4-bar phrases or 8-bar phrases or stuff. 5-bar phrases are unusual. 5/4, 3/4 is pretty unusual. 6/8 happens, but rock is almost always 4/4, right? Okay, so some of this is there are 2 intervals in that E minor pentatonic shape. There are 2 intervals there that have basically 4 notes we can play between them. Okay, so if we have this E and this G, we can play E, F, F sharp, and G. Okay, and then between the B and the D, we have B, C, C sharp, and D. And so what Jimi Hendrix is doing that in reverse. See, and that's 4. Actually, that song may be in 12/8, right? It may be a shuffle. I think that's in 12/8. But he's playing what essentially is dotted quarter notes. Don't worry, no quiz on this, okay? But we can kind of think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Generally, how you count 12/8, unlike 6/8, would be you generally count the quarter notes or the downbeats, okay? And then you just think triplets. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do that. Hold on a second. I forgot the Discord link. Edit. Oh, where's everybody going? Man, it is slow today. Holiday weekend. Everybody's on vacation. Not a holiday weekend, but all right. Boom. And then click on this. Pin message. Okay. So I could do the inverse of Dazed and Confused. What would be the opposite of Dazed and Confused? Alert and knowledgeable. So we'll call that alert and knowledgeable. But he chose the 2 intervals in E minor pentatonic that had a total of 4 notes if you played them chromatically. And it chromatically means every fret. That's a chromatic scale. Okay, again, no quiz on this. Everybody take a sip, celebratory sip. No quiz on this. You may not understand, like chromatic. Oh, Tom, stop using such big words. The thing is, I'll keep using them, and then eventually you'll go, oh yeah, of course chromatic. What are you talking about? Like you'll know. It'll just like it'll soak in eventually. So, sippity doo-dah. Okay, so the originals. You can even do the triplets. Hopefully I won't get a copyright strike over this. That would be lame. Okay? So, my thinking is that Jimmy Page's approach, or the reason he came up with that riff, was because he was just like, oh, I can do... I'll give you an example, another example of this kind of 4-note chromatic thing, okay? We've talked about this before, but it's been a while. Like, so if I'm playing an A chord, okay, A7, let's play A7. Oh, that's funny. Beth went out the front door. Play an A7. Well, there's a famous, not a famous, Blue Monk by Thelonious Monk. Basically, the melody is on an A7 arpeggio, A, C sharp, D, and then G. I'm sorry, it's E and D, G, sorry. So A, C sharp, E, G. Between the C sharp and the E, we have 4 frets or 3 frets, and between the E and the G, we have 3 frets. So that's the melody for. So it's interesting. I guess you could say that Blue Monk is kind of like Dazed and Confused. He's in B flat, so it's so he's like I'm in B flat. and then E flat. And then out over the A flat. Sounds like Cruella de Vil, right? So that song is called Blue Monk, and I believe it's in B flat. And so what he's doing is taking the B7 chord and he's going from the third to the fifth, and then he's taking the E. It's a blues, Blue Monk. It's a blues. Goes to the 4 chord, E flat 7, and he goes, and then it goes back to B flat. And does that really cool riff over B flat, and then it's going to be on E flat for maybe 2 bars, or it's going to, or sometimes you would go to E diminished for the 2nd chord. So it's going to go from the 3rd to the 5th, and then go from the 5th to the 7th, and then back to the original that riff. So there are times where you have a minor third interval, and you can use that, and I will do that all the time if I'm improvising over. So do I have a G here? I may have a G here. Let's see what this is. What's this? I forget what this progression is. Okay, so there's a G. Let me see if I can get this a little louder. Oh, my guitar's too hot. That's the problem. Turn this up. Okay, this is a G7. I will use those chromatic notes all the time when I'm playing over a dominant 7th chord. So in the case of that G7, or I might go, and there I started to go down the chromatic, right, from the 5th down to the 3rd, but I went to the flat 3rd, then the 3rd. Okay, try that. So we're going to play 7th fret, 6th fret, and 5th fret all on the third string. Okay, and then go down to the 3rd fret, and then play that note and play the 4th fret, and then there you can resolve to that G note there. You could even resolve to the open. And that's kind of using that chromatic idea between that minor third chromatic idea. And those minor thirds, you know, in any major scale, or any scale. So the scale I might think of over a G7 would be a Mixolydian scale. It's the same as a C major scale. No quiz. Everybody take a sip. Dang. Not a lot of quizzes today. Fear not. But I'll just tell you, we got a major third, we got a minor third here, we have a minor third here, major third, minor third, and a minor third. So there are like 4 different minor thirds in any major scale. And because if you remember our music theory and our chord theory, the 1 chord is major, the 2 chord is minor, the 3 chord is minor, the 4 chord is major, the 5 chord is major, the 6 chord is minor, and the 7th chord is diminished. So we have 3 minor chords in any key and a diminished chord. Well, the intervals, the first interval of a minor chord and a diminished chord is a minor third. So right there we have three minor chords and a diminished chord. We have 4 chords that start with a minor third. So we know that we have 4 different starting points where we can go up or down a minor third and kind of be in the key. Now again, one of those notes is not going to, in every one of those cases, you're going to have 1 note that's not in the key. But because you're doing like a chromatic thing, it's treated like a passing tone. Now, when I look at Zeppelin's Dazed and Confused, he he's not doing passing. Like I would, if it were a passing tone, here's how I would have played Dazed and Confused. Which actually is kind of cool, right? That sounds more like an Ozzy Osbourne kind of, like a Judas Priest kind of song. You know, that might be a Judas Priest song. Zeppelin, he does it like the passing tone, like an E minor. If we're in technically an E minor, then the F sharp's in the key, but the F note is not right. And so when you actually hear this song, probably you can't unhear it and unhear it for the first time. Okay, but if you could, it's probably that F note that's the one that sounds weird at first. That's the ones that are going to be like, wait, what? And then this one, it all depends. Because we have a D, a C sharp, a C, and a B. And if we were in E minor mixolydian, E minor, you know, if we were in E Dorian, it would have a C sharp. If we were in E minor proper, we would have a C natural. So either one of those could sound maybe more natural, but as soon as you hear the C sharp, you're assuming, oh, we're in Dorian. Then you hear the C, and you're like, oh, wait, what? So I think it's a brilliant, simple little riff that really was created because of the number 4. Because we have 4 beats in a bar, we have 4 bars in a phrase, and so okay. So I don't really know. I'd have to talk to Jimmy about it. It's like, how did you come up with that riff? What was your thinking? I'm definitely overthinking it. All right. Same thing with people, when they analyze Beatles songs. It's like, well, they went to the dominant, super dominant, blah, blah, blah. And, hey, BRKMP, what shall we call you? Unfortunately, it doesn't let us use our fictitious handles. Only our real handles now on YouTube. So I guess there were too many people faking being other people. But the you know, people, when they analyze Beatles songs, they overthink things. And if you were to ask Paul or John, you know, and they would just say, I don't know, it just sounded good, right? And that kind of gets us to the kind of, when I'm writing, and I do write riffs. When I typically write riff songs, it's usually for TV. They're asking for like a country rock or a blues kind of thing for a TV show or something, and I'm just creating a bed. And I almost always start with the guitar, but I'll put in a drum track. Maybe I'll play something. Let me see. Like if I add a drum track, I can add a drum track, and I can with Logic I can choose session drummer. I can choose style, retro rock. Let's say retro rock. That might be kind of cheesy, but let's try it. See where? Okay, put it there, and this is 120. I'm going to slow this down. So let's go here and change the tempo. Just make it a little bit more fun, easier to play. We're not coming up with a fast riff. Let's do 95 beats per minute. Let's see what that sounds like. Hear that? Okay. Now right away I'm hearing the kick pattern. And I know I'm not getting a lot of kick because I got the bass rolled off. Whoa. Okay, the guy's gonna do a fill there. Okay. So there's my drum pattern per se. All right. And so that's the first thing I'll do. I'll come up with maybe a beat that I want to play with. And I can change that beat. I can say randomize it or whatever. But right now that's what I'm going to work with. And then what I'll do is I'll loop that. So I'll just hit on Logic, I'll hit L and it'll loop it forever as long as I have enough tracks open. Right now it's probably looping it for about 800 bars or something. Okay. And then I will enable a guitar track, all right? And then I will just so what I'll do is I'll enable a track, put a track in record so I can hear myself, and then I'll hit record. And I don't need to click because I got drums. Now see, the problem with that is the drum phrase is 8 bars. So I kind of need like a count off into it. Okay, let me do this again. So it's gonna be 4 beats. Oh, where did the drums go? Oh, I didn't put any. Okay, so I have to add something to that. All right, if you make oh, cowbell, perfect. Let's do a cowbell. Okay, so I'll get four cowbells to start. Okay, that way, because the drum fill is automatically in bar 8, and what happened was I got to bar 8, and it was in my riff it was bar 7, and just that riff I've just made it up now. I know it's not great, but it's the idea. Here's the thing to me that's the cool part of the riff is the anticipated note. Okay, the pickup. I'm doing. I did that. Just that 16th note before the downbeat. That's kind of the cool moment there. So again, I put it in record so that I'm just going to open myself up to experimenting. So it's a mindset. When you're writing, I feel this is really true when writing a riff, okay? When you're trying to come up with a cool riff, it's real important for me to have it in record so I'm capturing everything. Because I'll do something, I'll go, wait, what was that? Oh shoot, I didn't start my riff. Okay, hold on. You got the count off, cowbell. So I got off somewhere. Or did I do a weird, I did a weird loop. Okay, the loop got weird on me. Why is it that is weird. Okay, so the loop, for some reason, is, okay, let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, well, I accidentally chopped it off. I don't know what I did. So that's why it didn't line up. Okay, but I changed something. So I'm like, okay, that riff's going to get boring after a while. So what did I do? Again, I was just experimenting. And as soon as I did this, okay, so I went from a single note E. You guys can all play it. Pretty simple. Right? But the second time I thought, oh, you know what? Let me go to a power chord. Actually, the third time, right? I did it 2 times like that. And then Don't Fear the Reaper, more cowbell, exactly. Then I added the 5th, right? And I didn't really get that B note ringing out with this A note. But right away I knew, okay, that's going to be kind of cool. That's actually going to be that interval, that major second. Sorry, again, talking music harmony theory. But that B to A, A to B creates some creates a flutter. It's even worse when I do the B flat. I could have done that instead of playing a B and an E and a B. I could have done an E and an E. That might have been made more sense. So check this out. So the first riff was. Okay, so now it goes from being a simple riff to being a difficult riff, because now I've got to play the same riff, but now I've got to keep this note in there, right? But that was just something like, as soon as I played it, I was like, okay, I can do it. Now I've got that. What I often do is I have a track above the track I'm recording on, a muted track. It may be in fact, I'll just duplicate this track. So I have this exact same sound, and I'm going to mute that, and now I'm going to go back to the original, and now let's see if this will loop right. We'll see. So I think, even though that's kind of nasty and a kind of original sound, it's very difficult, and it's a little too weird. Getting that B flat to B is very difficult. And the flutter with distortion on a clean sound, it might be mediocre, and the fact that it's so low to have that's a half step or a major second. Okay. What was my screen name? Oh. Oh, no, hey, Harsh, what's going on, man? Or woman? I don't know what you are. You could be a dog for all I know, right? And that was the old, back when the internet first started. I remember there was a New York Times, or a New Yorker cartoon my sister sent me. Probably was, late 90s or something. And a dog sitting at a computer, and he's like, I love the internet. Nobody knows I'm a dog. Anyway, okay, but I think instead of doing the B, I'm going to do the E. So now, now I've got, and it's a variation. 2. That's not a bad bed for a TV thing or something, like changing tires on a truck or something. Okay, everybody describe what action is happening during that song. My bet is they'll use it to change tires on a truck. Um, Another thing that I try to put as much guitaristic little elements in there, slides, pull-offs, hammer-ons, double stops, things like that. Much more human, much less likely to be AI. AI can do all of that stuff in some ways, but I think the more, like, when people send me music and they want me to play a melody. Sorry, my eye is bugging me a little bit here. When people send me like a melody to play over something, originally I would be like, okay, this is what's written. You know, it may be. But that's not what they want. They want. They want as much guitaristic element. They can, if they just wanted that, they could have played it with a guitar sample. They want all of the elements. The weird dude walking down the street with a cowboy hat on. I think that's good, Russell. And now he's looking out a window. Yeah, on the B section, he's looking out the window. What was the B section? What did I do for the B section? I was like the A. But again, yeah, so I was just trying to let the moment inspire me or hear what's next. I can't tell you how many times when I'm writing something, particularly when I was writing like the songs I was playing for you last week, that kind of stuff, I would go start. That's the problem here. My biggest problem when I write a song, like when I was back in the day when I was writing full-on folk songs and kind of Americana coffee shop type stuff, I'd write the first part and I wouldn't know if it was a chorus or a verse. I'm like, is this a chorus or a verse? I can't tell if this is hooky enough for a chorus or if this is really a verse, because I'm starting with this and I kind of want to hear this verse. But did I just give, and so a lot of times I would be struggling with determining whether I had a verse or chorus. And then I would play that and I would go to the next thing and say I was in G or something, like. And then what do I go? No, then I would have to go back to the beginning and play the whole thing again to get to that moment where it's going to change, go to the next section and see what should it be? Like that D chord, it didn't ignite anything. So I have to go. I might even have to do it 2 times. Sing, if I have melody, I might have to sing it. And then I might. Oh, that's it. Maybe. And so it would be basically just trial and error. And that's generally what I would do in with like folk songs or whatever, singer-songwriter kind of songs. Trial and error a lot of times. You know it when you hear it, right? It's kind of like one of those things. And I knew in this riff thing that I needed a B section at some point. I could have even done like I could have done power chords there too if I wanted to fatten it up instead of doing it. But I like that drone E with it. Kind of sounded good. Okay, Russell, let's see. Oh no, melancholy out. Spin Doc Takeoff lyrics, yep. Yeah, you know, I had a songwriter that I played in his band, and he just kept writing the same song over and over again. It was like it got to the point where I finally had to say something, and he was offended. But I was kind of like, um, you know, and I'm afraid I kind of blew out his candle on maybe he ended up doing fine, but it was just like the band was really having to work hard to make all these songs sound different from each other, but they were basically the same groove, same similar progressions, very similar melodies, and it was just like wow. And I get having a sound like that's a thing. You don't necessarily have to have a reggae song and then a ballad and then a bebop or not bebop, then a you know a hard rock song. You know you don't need to have your set. You know your record doesn't need to sound like 12 different genres. That wasn't what was happening. It was just literally the songs were the same song over and over again. He definitely had a style that was hard to get out of. You write a lot of songs. You're gonna find you write 100 songs. You're definitely gonna find some patterns. I find that, and I'm trying to think of like I don't know some of my favorite. I'd have to look and see what my most popular songs are on Discovery and see if the riff songs are rising to the top or what. But so yeah, so coming up with a riff, and I'm gonna grab that, and I'm just gonna move it up on top so it's on the muted track, and now I can come up with a different riff. I might come up with something that's more chord based. So I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna start on A. Myself in a corner. So I like where that was going. I really, really like that. So I'm going to grab that, move it up. Okay. But I think I just needed to go quiet to loud and not change anything. So here, this is what I should do. I want to hear the bass line go down. 2, 3. Oh, oops, I missed the first cowbell. 1, 2, 3, 4. I really didn't know what I was doing until I went, and I went, okay, let's keep that going. And I'm muting, and then I went, why not? That's cool. Okay, now let's add a bass. Let's see. Let me add a audio track. Yeah, find a bass sound that I like. And pull up the Ampeg. Let's do a dark bass Ampeg. Okay. So now let me get the bass. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with. I'm going to play A in the bass all the way through the first time, and then I'm going to do the descending thing and see if it works. Got my trusty 5-string jazz bass. It's just a Squire. It works. Someday I want to get a nice bass, like a nice. All right, I just got a tune. I don't know if you can hear this. The other problem is I've got that roll off. I'm rolling off the bottom end of the master channel because This one sticks. I'm not even going to use this. Oh, actually, I might use this string. It was sharp. You got the low B here. Wow, that's really sharp. I'm not going to hit that. You wouldn't hear this. I don't think you can hear that. Or it might make you go to the bathroom in your pants. There's the E. Leaves a little sharp. Okay. I'm just going to be on the... Okay, so let's just see what this sounds like. And again, hopefully you can hear this. I know the low end is a little weird on this. I can... 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that worked. That's cool. I like that because even though the guitar, I was playing the low A string with that riff, and maybe if I knew I was going to do bass on it, I wouldn't have done that, but it didn't really matter because the bass was an octave below that A string. Could you hear the bass at all? Oh man, Joni Mitchell was so good at that kind of stuff. She would do so many crazy tunings. Yeah, I changed basses. Everybody take a sip. Or I changed instruments. So if I like that. I think that's cool. Well, it definitely sets a mood. So when I'm writing for television, that's kind of what I'm doing. Now, when I'm writing, so if I'm, I'm kind of writing for two things. When I'm writing. And there are times where my writing income is 60 to 70% of my income, the money I make writing, but that's down right now because the main show that I wrote for and all the spin-offs was Street Outlaws, and Discovery canceled it, which was too bad. I remember when they re-upped it for 5 years, I was so happy. But then they canceled it. So that residual income has dropped off dramatically. It's still up on Discovery Plus, but Discovery Plus is maybe 10 cents on the dollar or less. But no, it's probably about that. No, it's less. But usually when you're writing for TV and things like that for Underscore, it's somewhat derivative. It's supposed to sound like something, okay? Then when I'm writing for pop artists or for top line writers, people that write melodies and lyrics, or for producers, so in other words, for records, when I'm doing that, I'm going for something that maybe I've never done before or never heard before. Sometimes that's why I like to use weird tunings. Maybe it forces me, or weird capoing things. It forces me to do something that I would never do. So that's kind of why that's kind of my mental, why I change my mental thinking when I'm writing for different scenarios. In this song, because I haven't written for a band in a long time. It's been a long time since I went for a band. So, but this might be a track that you would use with a band. But so I played A in the bass. See, we're gonna get distorted here if I don't roll off the bit. So all A. Goes down to G and down to F sharp. And down to F natural. And back to A. Yeah, and so um, a lot of times when I'm writing for television, things like that, you know, I might put cymbal hits, or there might even be times where in the middle of, like if I, so I got a crash, I might create a new track of drums, and then in the middle of this, it's be like 2, 3, 4, cymbal crash. Weird, you know, weird crash, maybe in weird spots. And it might be on its own track. And then that way the editor who's going to cut to it, because what they typically do with this music is they drop it in. They listen to a bunch of tracks and find something that they think is going to work with the scene that they're cutting. And then they may have 5 to 10 camera files. So there may be 10 cameras there. You know, I don't know if they ever have that much, but there may be 5 cameras that they have. And so they have all these angles of these different shots of this people talking or racing or whatever it is. And they want to cut at a moment. So they, like, the music can give them moments that they can cut to. You know, and then they cut. And it just looks, it looks cool. So that's, yeah, someone kissed her in that, exactly. Big crash. Now, I have done it. I've done a couple movies where I've scored to picture, which means you get the picture, and it's called picture lock. You don't want to write anything until you have picture lock, because what happens is, like, you know, they'll let's see. Okay, everybody take a sip. I'm grabbing a different guitar. You know, they'll send you some really romantic scene, right? You're like, and so you have this beautiful melody, right? And then it's not picture lock, and then they send you the scene that is locked, and they cut 5 seconds out of it, and you're like, I already wrote it was, and you get to, and then it ends there, and now it's a sad melody instead of a hopeful melody or a happy melody or whatever, and he's like, dang it. So you always wait for picture lock so you can determine how long how long that melody is going to be or whatever. So it's just funny. That's inside baseball stuff. But yeah, I name the tracks, and generally, you know what I do, and my writing partner, he'll do all that stuff, but I generally will name the tracks. Sometimes I'll name them to maybe be a parody of a song that they might be, you know, or a band or something that they might be. A lot of times, it depends on who I'm sending it to, but a lot of times I'll try to make the titles funny. And so that, just to catch their eye, but more important, descriptive, I think, is more important for titles. So like this, what would we call this one? You know, it's like, you know, depending on the show I'm thinking it's going to go on, and it'll end up in a library that a bunch of shows will pull from. So I might call this oil change, you know, or flat tire or something like that. So they're like, oh, okay, that might be the good one, you know, because we're changing oil. So, you know, so yes, you generally, you don't want to name them like Debbie's song. They're going to be like, what? Okay, forget that. So no, you generally try to name them what they sound like. Sometimes you, if it's a drone, like this one, I wouldn't call a drone because we get off of that A note. But if it was just A all the way through, I might call it oil change drone or something like that. My writing partner will take all the files and then he'll create different stems, which means he'll do full mix, he'll do guitars only mix, he'll do bass and drums only mix, he'll do one with like bass drums with keyboards. You know, I might add keys to this. You know, there's, do I have a piano? See, I don't know if, So I might do something like, nice thing about MIDI is I can fix it. See, I don't like that. I might do 1, 2. Not a fan. Yeah. So I mean, probably more likely would be like a B3 organ in there. Like if I did that, it would sound like this. Let's see. I gotta grab a B3. Let's see. Where are my organs? Here we go. Okay, classic rock organ. I'm gonna put this away. And then I think my sustain pedal changes the speed. So I might do something like this. So I'm just hitting an A. That makes sense. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense, right? And I got to that E a little too soon. And I mean, it adds energy to the scene, right? And it's an option. So I think that E should just, right there. I love how you can barely hear it on the first part because I'm playing down here, right? But then I go up 2 octaves and I play the high A. Then I keep that A going, right? I got that G going against it. And then I go down to F sharp. And then down to the F. And then I kind of went down to the E. So it got doing that. Isn't that funny? I'm actually doing that chromatic thing I'm telling you about. So that might be the B section on this. If I were to, come up with another section, I could maybe do something that plays off of that. Oh, I changed the name. So the B section might be something like, so I duplicate this guitar track here, go here, I came out of this, and so I got an, okay, so I can turn down the organ. So now I might do something, I don't need 2 of these, there we go. Something like that might be kind of cool. There's okay. So I don't know. That doesn't quite work. Maybe just go back down to kind of a simple. Yeah. Just a simple. Now it sounds like a spy thing. See, it doesn't quite work in the same context. It worked cool. Kind of worked cool in that context. But yeah, it's all the lesson here is that you have kind of an attitude of experimenting, taking chances, and trying stuff. Like I just tried that, and I just immediately knew, okay, I could do that, but that's a different song. See, and again, this is writing for television, so it's not exactly anything any of you would do. What I talked about last week, and what I really want to encourage you all to do is just to write. I feel like you can write songs, you can write lyrics and melodies and chords and everything. You can do it yourself. Don't pull out AI. Don't do a Suno thing and send it to me and go, look what I did on Suno. Look at the song I wrote. And it's like, you didn't do anything. I don't know that song. I mean, I know Daisies. I've heard it, but I don't know how to play it. Sorry, Chris. See if McGee has a YouTube channel, and you can ask him because he's the one that wrote it. He wrote the riff. Great guitar player, McGee. If MKGEE, look him up. He's really cool. He's really cool. He's got a really unique technique. I think he plays baritone guitars mostly too. But in this context of writing like for television or for a bed or something, I mean, you could totally write lyrics over this. This could be a band song, but typically a band is not going to ask me for songs. Bands write their own songs. That's why I don't tend to write band songs anymore, because I don't have a band. When I wrote band songs, it was like some riffs, but mostly it was like folk stuff. So, Chris, yeah, favorite song, ETA is pretty fun. I like that one a lot. There have been some that are not released. Cannonballs with Taylor Swift. Another one called, I'm gonna at some point maybe do a tutorial for Raise the Bar. That one never came out. It got leaked. Now I'll never make any money on it. A bummer. So I might as well do a tutorial on it, see if I can make $7 teaching how to play it. So I might, in this scenario, I might go, okay, put this song on hold and go, okay, I'm going to do. See, that's just like James Bond almost, right? Like a. I'm a Swiftie, exactly. I didn't meet her that day. It was the day I met Justin, though. Probably 15 years ago. I think Justin was 16. He's 31 now. He's the same age as my second son, Jack. So, crazy. Bieber's 31, right? So yeah, there's something there. Like it's got to go somewhere. Because it just went. So I kind of, we could drop it back down. Like I could drop it back down to that original. Definitely sounding 38 special, right? Yeah, I don't know. For TV, sometimes the big dramatic shifts are like, oh, okay, we can't use this song now. It doesn't. I was looking for a mood. Now the mood's gone. So again, a lot of it depends on what you're writing for. But kind of back to the. I'm gonna change guitars again. What am I gonna play? See, this is in. That's in Dad Gap. I think this is in standard tuning, probably close. My gypsy jazz guitar. tune them. I had a tuner out. There we go. One of the snark tuners. The battery killers, I call them. I miss my IntelliTouch. Those are my favorite tuners. I have a bunch of them. I just discovered, I forgot. These little guys, they're cute, they're okay. I don't know if okay, the power is on, it's pretty dim. Diodario. Then I don't know where I got this. I think this one showed up was when I bought something online and it came with the guitar. And again, some of these are like, okay, great idea, but like, who makes this? Was this another Diodario? No, this is Planet Waves. Okay, and it's like, how am I supposed to put this on here? It's like, I guess it's battery's dead. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, it's the battery's dead. I remember this one was such a pain to change the battery. It was unbelievably complex. It's like, it's under this thing and you got to twist it and the battery flies out and it's like, where'd the battery go? The dog eats it and dies. Then you sue them and you spend months in court. It's just not worth it. The dog didn't die. Sometimes you do something weird, like this is a cut capo, Kaiser cut capo. I'm not a fan, but like you can put it on two ways. You can put it like here and kind of create an A chord, or you could do it here and create kind of an E sus chord. So, that could inspire something. I don't know. No, I'm not inspired. I don't mind open tunings, but sometimes those capo created open tunings are not happening. All right, so my daughter is arriving today. Haven't seen her in forever, and she's pregnant with our first grandchild, so that's exciting. So sometimes when you're writing something, you just want to kind of get the idea down, right? And again, I will set up my microphone and I will go and I will put earbuds in if I want to have a click going, so I'm playing the tempo. But most of the time when I'm writing acoustic stuff and songs, I just want to get the idea down as quickly as I can, because those ideas go away if you don't. The phone is perfect for that. Just go to memos and you start writing, and it works great. But so let's say if I'm let's do a song in E. Oh, hey, Dennis is here. Hey, what's going on? Stocking stuffers. But the writing thing, I think it's important for you to do it. And there's so many reasons. I mean, I think journaling is really good, but writing is, for me, that's how I journal, particularly back in the day. And when you're younger, I feel like you've got a lot more questions about life. The older you get, maybe you understand how life works a little bit better, I think. I don't know. Or you know more what to expect. Or things aren't as dramatic as they used to be, or you're less likely to have certain things, like you've been married 38 years. I don't foresee heartbreak in my future, I hope not. But when you're 20, there's a lot of heartbreak. But I still feel like, writing, you don't have to write for a reason. Somebody was asking me about my favorite Bieber songs, and I think my favorite songs I wrote with Justin, and I think mostly what happened with me and Justin was I was giving him kind of a a bed or a platform to write and to journal over. And in fact, he even called one of his records, I think it's his best record, called Journals. And I worked on it, but I didn't write anything on it. I played on a couple songs on that. And it's actually literally kind of like him kind of going through stuff. And I feel like it's one of his better records. And who knows, maybe having him write Yellow Raincoat, which is the first song we really wrote together. I wrote another song with him before that, but it was just kind of like I changed the bridge and they gave me 5% kind of thing. This one was one that I literally, wrote with him in the studio, Yellow Raincoat, and he was writing lyrics about, the crap that people were saying about him and how he just kind of has to throw on his invisibility cloak or something like that. And so, if he was literally taking my guitar parts and journaling over, and sometimes they would get released and usually not. But I think it's super duper healthy. Oh, what's that? What's Dennis? I can't. I'm afraid to click on it. I don't want to go away from this window or it might close. So, the writing. Free falling, writing free falling. No, was it? Just write the inversion of free jumping up. I feel like going from 1 to 4 is a good place just to kind of get in that zone. I'm going E to A, which is the 1 chord, to the 4 chord. So I'm just singing a G sharp and that E. Just kind of something to get you going. And a lot of times if you're journaling, you can take that and you could journal on one side of a page, and on the other side of the page, you can take that thought and try to turn it into a lyric with rhymes and pacing. You kind of want to have the same with lyrics. It's having a similar number of. I've written some. Oh, I have a song. Where's that book? Oh, I put it away. I wrote a song called Madeline, and the lyric scheme on that. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Hold on. I'll be right back. I know where it is. Oh, I thought I knew where it was. Oh, here. No. All right, I'm back. Talk amongst yourselves. So I wrote a song called Madeline. Beth sang, so it's not in my key. And I really liked the song, but it was hard AF to write, okay? Because I didn't put chords in here. I think I know the chords. And so what was about a rich woman trying to find love and not being able to trust the men in her life because she's got lots of money. And I just thought that made, I think I was even thinking, so, somebody was talking about how Bob Dylan tells these great stories in his songs. And I said, you know what, let me tell a story in a song. We've released it. It's on one of our cassettes. And I may have played it for you. I'm trying. Sometimes. I gotta remember the key. she. What key is it? Yeah, that's it. The only problem is it's not a good key for me. Sometimes she likes what she sees. Sometimes she likes what she sees in the mirror as she makes herself. Sometimes she wonders if she'd hate herself if she was someone else. Self-esteem, an evasive dream, one day by hour by moment. And Madeline has a chronic yen. If it's for sale, she'll own it. All right, so right away, I let you know it's about a woman. Well, the song's called Madeline, so that's your first clue. But sometimes you don't know the title, you just hear the song. And so I start with this rhyme. Sometimes she likes what she sees in the mirror as she makes herself. Sometimes she wonders if she'd hate herself if she were someone else. And we often, some of us are really bad about trying to see ourselves through other people's eyes and really being concerned what people think about us. Sometimes I feel like that's not a bad thing, because if we're being jerks, it's kind of nice to know that, or kind of nice to see it. I feel like my pastor at my church doesn't really know anything about music, but he's really good at putting himself in the seat of, in the congregation perspective. And if something's wrong with one of the songs, like, oh, this song, you should flip those songs, do this one first, then that one, he's always right. And it's like, how did he know? But he's really good at seeing the service from someone else's perspective. And I think some of us are really good at kind of, I think that's kind of an empathy thing, where you're kind of seeing, that's more experiencing someone else's emotions. But seeing somebody else, or seeing yourself from someone else's perspective, isn't necessarily a bad thing. But you can obsess on it, and that's not a good thing. So is she obsessing? I don't think that's the point of this lyric. But the rhyme is herself and else, right? Sometimes she likes what she sees in the mirror as she makes herself, puts on her makeup. Sometimes she wonders if she'd hate herself if she were someone else. Now, the word herself, I've got that sound in there too much. It's a little bit like, I wish I had changed that. She hate herself. I wish I could find a different way to say that, but I didn't. Okay, now, the next line, self-esteem, an evasive dream, one day by hour by moment, and Madeline has a chronic yen. If it's for sale, she'll own it. It's like a quadruple rhyme. So I'm like, okay, crap. Now I've set this standard. I've got this rhyming pattern, and I like it. Self-esteem, an evasive dream, one day by hour by moment, and Madeline has a chronic yen. If it's for sale, she'll own it. Now we know she's rich. She can afford anything she wants, okay? And she likes owning stuff. Okay. So that was fine, except now every verse has to have that rhyming scheme. And I have 4 verses. And I got to the 3rd verse and I was like, whew, but I wasn't done telling the story. And I'm like, oh, crap. I got to come up with another verse? It was weightlifting. It literally felt like weightlifting. So when you're crafting, when you're doing a song, you can have fun with a rhyming scheme. I mean, I really enjoyed that, trying to come up with this. The next verse, it goes to 2 verses. If it were a song today, I would have gone right to the chorus. But back then, the chorus wouldn't come for a minute and a half. You might know what the chorus is. But the second verse, and hopefully I'm not boring you. I don't know. Anyway, is anyone here? It's like we're down to 2 people. Yeah, got 13 of you sticking with me here. It's a slow week. I do have a new video that's popping. It's like taking off. It's a year and a half old video, but it's just people are watching it like crazy right now. So that's cool. Um, so, uh, so again, it was sometimes she likes what she sees in the mirror. She makes herself. All right. So the second verse is, in her 32-room mansion, she talks to her cat and says, the poor are lucky, for they still think money can buy happiness. The cat replies with open eyes and ears that are not hearing. And as the norm, she's kept warm by her wealth, and it is searing. Okay, so it's a kind of an interesting lyric. In her 32-room mansion. Okay, so now we know she's really rich. She talks to her cat. Now we know she's lonely, right? And she says, the poor are lucky, for they still think money can buy happiness, which is philosophical. Now I get philosophical, and it is true. That's what envy is all about. I'm always trying to teach some spiritual thing in my songs, but envy is about thinking that thing we don't have will make us happy. It's like the happiest place on earth. Going to Disneyland is going to make you happy, and then you go buy a churro and it's $27, and you're like, this is not making me happy. Just like, this parking lot is not making me happy. This 2-hour wait to get on Indiana Jones is not making me happy. Yeah, so it's difficult, but people will think, people think that, oh, if I have this much money, I'll be happy finally, and it's like it just doesn't work that way. Happiness starts here. Contentedness starts here. It can't be external. It's not even possible. I'm not thinking. Thank you, Bob. I try to never think that external forces are going to make me happy. That's kind of a dangerous thing. Now, okay, the next two lines have that stupid rhyming scheme that I painted myself in the corner with. The cat replies with open eyes, but ears that are not hearing. Of course, cat doesn't understand what you're saying. And as the norm, she's kept warm by her wealth, and it's searing. Again, kind of she's not being kept warm by an embrace of a husband or a boyfriend, but she's being kept warm by her wealth, which is so much wealth, it's actually searing, it's burning. So the chorus is freaking dope. I think the chorus is like one of the best things I've written. I'm brilliant. What can I say? You're very blessed to have me in your presence. Okay, I got to remember the chords though. So the cat replies with open eyes and ears that are not hearing. And that's the norm. She's kept warm by her wealth, and it is searing. And she might say, I'll fly away, and no one will take notice. Another man will kiss her hand. She'll know not love but motive. And I don't remember the rhythm on that melody, that second line. And it's obviously written for Beth, so I could sing it down an octave. The lyric here is, and she might say, I'll fly away and no one will take notice. Another man will kiss her hand. She'll know not love but motive. And I did that. Fortunately, the chorus is the only thing. It's just it's the same thing, so I don't have to come up with more. It's that same writing scheme though. She might say, I'll fly away and no one will take notice. Another man will kiss her hand. She'll know not love but motive. Now here's where we talk about soft rhymes. Okay, soft rhymes are totally fine. Soft rhymes are notice and motive technically don't rhyme, but they're close enough, right? Man and hand. See, man and another man will kiss her can. That would be, I guess you could say a hard rhyme, I guess. But hey, Brian, what's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Oh, you got 17? Okay, all right, we're bringing it in. So, yeah. So another man will kiss her hand. She'll know, but it's a brutal lyric. She'll know not love but motive. She's assuming everyone's motive, and she's probably not wrong. But every man that's, in my opinion, why celebrities generally marry other celebrities, because and it doesn't always work out because there's so much stress in those relationships. But it's like, can you trust someone who's not famous or rich? What is their motive? Like, can you say that you met them, free of any kind of motive you're always going to doubt their intentions. And she's sad. She's lonely. I can fly away. No one's going to notice. I could be gone for a month, and who would notice but my servants? And they may not even notice. Another man will kiss her hand, and she'll know not love but motive. So let me sing it down an octave. The chords are kind of that. And she might say, I'll fly away. No one will take notice. Another man will kiss her hand. She'll know not love but motive. And there's something not quite right with my rhythm on that. Another man will kiss her hand. I'm not sure. She might say, I'll fly away. Another man will, she might say, another man will kiss her. That's what I need to do. Another man will kiss her hand. She'll know not love but motive. All right, sorry. I know I'm not a very good singer, but I'm trying. Land's here. What's going on? So we got a lot of people showing up now. Sure, just in time to hear me embarrass myself. Okay. So now I'm like struggling with like verses, like where where does the story go? But it's a sad story, right? It's a sad story. This is about a rich woman who has everything except love. And so the next verse is a heritage of royalty, an orphan of her circumstance. The Telly. So now I'm telegraphing that she's British. The Telly was her family, a harlequin, her true romance. Harlequin books, right? So an heritage of royalty, an orphan of her circumstance. So she probably didn't have any siblings. She was an only child or something. The Telly was her family. Her parents were never around, so she just grew up watching TV. A harlequin, her true romance. Now, we learn a new... the next verse, again, I think I'm getting a little bit more like, maybe my Christianity is showing through a little bit here. But I say, in her life, she's been a wife. Oh, she has been married. She's tasted fruits of passion. The vows she thought that he forgot were just victims of new fashion. So in other words, he cheated on her, and new fashion. Oh, it's fine. I can have affairs. It's just the way, open marriage or whatever. It's like not what she had in mind. She wanted love for life, and he went off and had an affair or something. So the a heritage of royalty, an orphan of her circumstance. The Telly was her family, a harlequin, her true romance. And man, you have to take Beth sang this. We did this a lot, and she would have to take a deep breath for these verses. Man, it was like a heritage of royalty, an orphan of her circumstance. The Telly was her family, a harlequin, her true romance. In her life, she's been a wife. She's tasted fruits of passion. The vows she thought that he forgot were just victims of new fashion. And now I go to a chorus. So it's a half a verse. It's one verse instead of two verses. And she might say, I'll fly away. No one will take notice. Another man will kiss her hand. She'll know not love but motive. Okay, and I don't think I've ever said Madeline until this verse. And it says Madeline twice, which I probably wasn't a fan of saying Madeline twice in the same chorus or verse. I don't like using the same word twice in a verse or chorus if I can avoid it. I mean, it's one thing to say she or he or and or something like that. Or I, me, mine, whatever. That's different. But a word like I used herself twice in that first verse. That just kind of rubs me the wrong way, but that's not that bad. So if I used the word circumstance twice, that would be bad. If I used even the word family twice or romance twice in the same verse or even in the same song, I might avoid, like I'm never going to use circumstance in this song again, I don't think. Romance, I don't think I used again. I may imply romance, but again, it's when you're writing lyrics, a lot of times you want to be careful not to use too many of the same words over and over again. Okay. I mean, obviously, unless you're doing, I know. That's different. That's almost more like a vocal solo or something, right? That's almost like he's going ta da 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 na 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 na. You know, it doesn't make. Who was that? Who did the I Know song? The kids used to love that song. Okay, so I had to do a fourth verse. I don't know that the fourth verse puts a button on it. But it just points out how sad she is even more. She just gets sadder and sadder. That's the whole point. The overarching theme is like, look, the overarching theme is just because they have money doesn't mean they're happy. I had another song. What was that called? I wrote about a homeless guy who was laughing at rich people because he's laying on the beach in Malibu every day, and he doesn't pay anything for it. And he's laughing at all the rich people who have these mega mansions, $20 million mansions, and they have to work all day, and they never get to enjoy it because they're at work paying for them. And I'm trying to remember the name of the song, but that was what the lyric was about. And yeah, so I mean, I kind of, when I write lyrics, a lot of times back in the day, that was kind of how I approached things. I was trying to kind of make it a teachable moment and say, look, we have all this in common. I understand the homeless guy that is, Charlie is, I don't know if Charlie's here. Charlie, are you here? And I'm not disparaging. It was actually, I kind of admire it. I'm like, yeah, that makes complete sense. It's like, and that's not what that's not his motivation for being homeless. He's homeless because he can't afford a home. It's not, and this guy's motivation, because when you're writing a song or when you're telling a story, you're writing the motivation. Somebody can be mad at that motivation, but I'm just saying, hey, look, it's like when Dan Quayle got mad at Murphy Brown for having a baby out of wedlock. It's like, she's just a fictitious character, right? I mean, she was setting, maybe influencing culture, which is a lot of Hollywood's intent, 100%. Hollywood wants to influence culture. Don't ever think they don't. They would rather do that than make money. I guarantee it. They do that all the time, and they make nothing. But so often it's like, well, then don't watch the show. If you don't like the show, don't watch it. And that's, kind of the thing. It's like if somebody got offended with that lyric, it was just the character. They'd be mad at the character I wrote, and don't be mad at me. Okay, so last verse. Okay, every Sunday, Madeline is met by friends, quote unquote, which you don't hear the quote, you don't hear the scare quotes. Why are they called scare quotes all of a sudden? Because I don't think I'm scaring anybody. Oh, look, I just made it rain. Every Sunday, Madeline is met by friends who play their parts. Is that going to work? What? There we go. Every Sunday. Yeah, air quotes. That's what I call them, air quotes. So every Sunday, Madeline is met by friends who play their parts, a curator, a young playwright, and other patrons of the arts. An open hand has Madeline. It's not that she's not giving. Though she denies, you must realize she's no way to make a living. She never learned a skill. She's always been rich. She doesn't have any. So she gives away a lot of her money, but she can't give it all away because she doesn't have a way to survive. So that's kind of where. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not. Keep in mind, when I wrote this song, I was probably making 20 grand a year. And I was supporting. I mean, in 1990, I didn't have any kids yet, so I was. But my wife and I, it was like we were making. I was probably making in 1990. I was probably making $12,000 a year. If I made $1,000 a month, that was a good month. So we were living on next to nothing. But I was trying to put myself again. I think that's empathy, and I think when you're a songwriter or even a writer, I think you need to have the ability to empathize. You're creating a character, and you want to be able to see things from their perspective, and that's kind of what empathy is. And so that's what this song's a very much a character story. And so if I sing this, it's every Sunday, Madeline is met by friends who play their parts, a curator, a young playwright, and other patrons of the arts. Yeah, it's the fourth verse problem. I painted myself into a corner, and now I gotta come up, and that's probably why I had the word Madeline in. I could have said every Sunday she is met by friends who play their parts. That would have been better. I think it's every Sunday she is met by friends who play their parts. But I would have needed some more words because I wanted to have the same pentameter. Is that right? The same meter. And so I would have needed every Sunday, Madeline, she. Every single Sunday she is met by friends who play their parts. So every single Sunday, that's a lot of alliteration. Every single Sunday she is met, a lot of S's. So I guess I'm fine having Madeline twice. I may have experimented with some different things, but the fact that it's the title of the song is probably not a bad thing to have it in there twice. But I use her name as one of the rhymes in the tough line, where the second two lines of the verse, where I have to do basically 6 rhymes. An open hand has Madeline, again, and not a soft rhyme. It's not that she's not giving. Though she denies, you must realize she's no way to make a living. And I don't even know why she would deny that she has no way to make a living, but maybe she's just proud, right? So songwriting, we're talking in this scenario, we're really talking about lyrics, right? And paring it down. So often when I here's one thing where people have done, used AI, and you can really, really see how bad people are as far as writing lyrics and stuff. You can write a lyric and you can have Suno put a band to it and have it sung by a country singer or a blues singer or whatever. And it really kind of exposes how bad the lyrics are. It'll sound like a real record and be like, wow, that sounds like a real, Vince Gill record or whoever, and you're like, but man, those lyrics are awful. And then you can have Suno write lyrics and they'll be better, but then what did you do? You did nothing. For me, the therapy is in the lyrics, or the message is in the lyrics, and that's lyrics in this context of writing for me was the fun part. And then the melody is the next most important thing. The chords are more just like, and again, the chord progression is, again, it's not a 4-chord vamp, right? I'm going 6, 1, 4, 5. So it starts out right away. In fact, the song starts, sometimes she likes, it literally is a pickup with a lyric pickup. Sometimes it starts with the melody. So it starts with a G note, the third of the E minor chord. So it's kind of sad. Sometimes you immediately know it's a sad song. And then it goes to 3 major chords. And I'm sure, not that I can remember a song I wrote 35 years ago, but how I wrote it, but I'm sure, I know I started with knowing that it was a sad song. So, and then it goes to this descending line, right? So the first half of the verse is 6, 1, 4, 5, twice. And then it goes to this descending, falling thing. All right. And then I go to the chorus, and I like that, it's also kind of sad, right? And that first, self-esteem, an evasive dream, one day by hour by moment. And Madeline has a chronic, and if it's for sale, she'll own it. I mean, it's lyrically very dense song and really hard song to sing because there's no place to take a breath. But the chorus is the simplest harmonically. It's the 5, 1, 4, 1. And it almost has, hold on a second. Okay. It almost has like me and Julio in the schoolyard kind of vibes. They're very, very Paul Simon kind of. But because the verse ended on the 1 chord, it couldn't go to. It couldn't stay on the 1 chord to start the verse, right? I'm sorry, to start the chorus. Is the cat in here? I heard a noise. I do have a bird, I think, in my attic. Maybe making a nest up there, right above my head. It's like, dang it. Happens every now and then, especially when it rains. It may be our mouse, but we'll see. No, the gestures don't work when you do them. Scare quotes. Scare quotes. Woo! See, I'm not sure why it triggered the. How do I do the? No, wait. Where's that little mic? No, that's a mic. Yeah. Anyway, I think I have to click on this, and then I click on this. Nope. I don't know where that little controller is for the. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thumbs up. So, so I was kind of stuck going to the 5 chord, and I think that really helped me find, I think, a really nice melody. This melody is beautiful, and it's also sad, yet it's all major chords. She might say away, no one will take no notice. It's a really good melody. She might say I'll fly away, and no one will take notice. It's a hard melody to sing. She might say I'll fly away, and no one will take notice. No one will take no notice. It does a 5th. She might say, starts with a 4th. But the thing is, cool, she might say, goes to that major 7th over the G chord, and then stays on it and becomes a sharp 11. It's a really nice melody. She might say I'll fly. Oops, she might say I'll fly away. Hard hard for, it's not in my range at all. The low, if I sing it down octave, it's too low. But she might say I'll fly away, and no one will take notice, and that's another one. No one, I can sing that part. Let's see. No one will take notice. Singing the major 7 over the C chord. And so I would do that a lot, where I would pick on those 7ths and the 4ths and stuff. I would sing a note. I don't think I have a G over the D, do I? She might say I'll fly away, and no one will take notice. And then it resolves notice. So that C to the B. And I guarantee I was playing with a melody as I was working on it. It wasn't that, it didn't just come like that, okay? This song is probably my most crafted song. There's art in this craft. This is craft. This was hard work. This was like rolling up the sleeves. My face had grease on it by the time I was done with this song. You know, I got underneath this song and I was changing the oil on this song. It was a hard song to finish. But the first 2 verses came pretty quick, and the chorus, and once I had that, I was like, I got to finish this as a song. And I think it was the opening cut on one of our records. So I wish the record, I wish the records sounded better. I would release them like on streaming. They just don't sound very good. I've been tempted to like replay everything. I can use Song Splitter on Logic to separate everything. Like I can have Beth's vocals. Unfortunately, I can't separate my vocals from Beth's vocals. Beth's vocals sound great. Mine don't sound very good. So if I'm singing harmony with her, it's still there, and it's like I can throw it through auto-tune and fix that. I don't have the expensive version of auto-tune. I forget which one it is. It's like $500. So it allows you to like fix guitar chords. If you got a chord you want to tune, it'll tune one string and not all of them. Crazy, right? And that's where AI is super duper handy, man. I mean, it's like there's some handy, AI is going to do the same thing that the internet did, that computers did, and it's just going to make some tasks easier, thus making expectations higher for our bosses. Our bosses go, well, you should be able to do that. So, all right, I should get going. Emma's going to be here any minute, and I want to be able to spend some time, obviously, when she gets here with her husband, Marty. And but thanks for hanging out with me. Excited to see one of my videos kind of on fire. I love it. We got to 15 people, 16, 17 people, and they're hanging out. Let me see if, okay, let me refresh this and see if it's still kind of climbing or if it's leveling off. I don't know. Yeah. View last 48 hours. Yeah, it looks like it's still kind of pumping up the volume here. 35,000 views. 35 and yeah, almost 36,000 views. So it's the browse. Okay, so it's the browse features 36% of the views. Suggested videos is 32%. YouTube search is 23%. External is 2.9. So see more. Oh, that's right. Can I see if somebody recommended it? That's not really. Yeah, I'm not getting any other information here. Yeah, so that, yeah, it doesn't say what YouTube or what external, but that's only not even 3% of the views of this video. But I do love how much Google gives me analytics that I can use that really make it helpful. So yeah, YouTube's doing me a solid here and pumping up the volume. Spike. Yeah. Average view duration, 3 minutes. That's not bad. Average percentage viewed, 26%. I mean, I don't know what normal is. Uh, Most video, if I go to the trouble to pull up a video, I'm usually watching the whole thing. Sometimes though, it's great because it has that little band there. You can go scroll along and see where most people watched, and it's like how to change the battery in your tuner. And it's like the first 3 minutes is talking about the tuner. It's like, no, I just want to know how to change the battery in the tuner. People complain about me all the time. They're like, I just want to learn how to write a song. It's like, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'll post a link. Yeah, you guys all want to watch the you want to keep pumping it up and recommending it? What the heck, right? It's actually made enough money that's just justifies my time spending on it. That's how many views 35,000 views is. So I would love for sorry, I closed that window, but I got it. I would love for all of my videos to justify themselves. The stocking stuffer ones, they may just because I have links in there, and if you go shopping, like if you go to those videos, pull up those videos, do your Sweetwater or your Amazon shopping for Christmas, I get a piece of that shopping, so that's super helpful. I've got another video I did. So I did the Gold Tone Banjitar kind of, I guess, a review, more of a test drive. I will post that on Friday, I think. Maybe I'll post it on Wednesday so it's out there sooner. I think the more I post it, I did my 5 favorite strumming patterns. I'm going to change that. I'm going to do my 5 favorite strumming patterns in 4/4. And I may shoot that in the living room. I also may do a couple more of the major scale videos because I feel like those have got the C major scale video is another one that's kind of popped. So I did C, G, and D. I may do E and A and E, and those don't take very long. It's just the graphics and editing that takes time. If I was making real money on this, I would turn all that over to other people and let them do it, right? Get a shareable link. Okay, so here's that one that's so some fun progressions in DADGAD. And again, there's not a lot of DADGAD content out there, so that's where I feel like I got a little bit of a sweet spot. People expect it from me. So I did another video more recently about is DADGAD major or minor? Yes. And that video, hardly any views. See, this one's at 35,000. So that, again, the other DADGAD video I did is literally at 600 views. And I've got a promotion card in the DADGAD video, the one that's taking off for this video, but nobody's clicking on the card. So I maybe need to move those cards further towards the back, well, maybe towards the front of the video where people are. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like I said, if a video gets, 1,000 views, I'm not really making money. Oh, okay, the stocking stuffer one now, the acoustic one's up to 1,700 views. That's good. In fact, let me look at the analytics of that one. So that one kind of had a little pop yesterday. And in real time, the last 48 hours, it's got 800 views. So actually, the last 2 days, it's gotten a pop. That's kind of nice. Browse feature. So that's 94% is the browse feature. Somebody's entering in stocking stuffer ideas, okay, or gift ideas. So that's cool. That's exactly what I want. And if people start clicking on those links, and I can see, let's see, I could go to Amazon. Where's Amazon? I have it here somewhere. Here it is. I could click on here and I can see my earnings. I have to click on it twice for some reason. It's weird. Opens a new window and yeah, so, okay. So yesterday it was $3, today it's $5. So somebody bought something, I earned $1.39. So great. It's exactly what I want. I may do one of those every year. I should have put the year on it. I actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to both those videos and add for 2025 in both of the titles. Details. See if I have room in the title. I think, yeah, I've got just enough characters for 2025. That way when I do it, and I think I've got 2 spaces here accidentally. Yeah, I do. Okay. that way when I do it, next year I can have one that says, let me edit this one to say, so the electric ones, but more people play acoustic, so that makes sense for 2025. The electric one only has like 200 views. Okay, so I think that's going to be a good addition. Okay, sorry. I'm Mrs. So Justin, hey Tom, do you have a Patreon? I do not. What do you think, Justin? Should I do that? Kelly Jekyll has a Patreon. Let me pull up let me just pull up pros and cons of Patreon. Um, 20 pros and cons. Is Patreon worth it? Okay, so maybe I'll read this article. I don't think it costs me anything. Ads. Between picks and platforms, let's find out. Trustpilot end user rating. Yeah, see, I don't know if it's great for the user, for you guys. Which video? Okay, I did post. Did I post a link? I did. Okay, you see the link there? A friend of mine, Quist, who does jam tracks, he does very well. I think he has a lot of pressure to create content, a lot of jam tracks. And what he does, which is brilliant, is he solos over the first time through, and that's about a 5 or 6 minute jam after that. And then he sells for like $3 or something the tab for his solo. So I don't know if he does the tab or he has somebody else do the tab. He might have somebody else do the tab. I'll have to ask him. He's playing at church in a couple weeks, or in December, and I'll ask him about that. But he's a great resource. I should ask him if I should do that. I mean, I don't know. Work has been kind of slow, and royalties have definitely dropped off from my Discovery stuff. TV shows, they got canceled, but they're still on Discovery Plus. The nice thing about Discovery Plus, I have music on shows like, for example, Treetop Cat Rescue from like 11 years ago. I hadn't seen money from that in 10 years because it was 6 episodes. It probably aired, in 1 year, it maybe aired 10 times or something. Every episode, it maybe aired 10 times. You know how Discovery will keep re-airing shows. And that's kind of the nice thing about cable. They'll do that. But broadcast doesn't do that so much. If it airs on ABC, it airs once and then that's it. It goes to other platforms. But I'm seeing royalties from Treetop Cat Rescue. It's 25 cents maybe, or $5 a quarter or something like that. But I love the fact that the music I've written is evergreen. It's ever making me green. Evergreen. So, Patreon takes a percentage, for sure. And I think what it is like, if I do a video, like you have people saying, oh, they'll pay $5 for every video I post or something like that. And so the thing is, you post a lot of videos and people are like, well, this is not what I want videos for, then they cancel. Or maybe it's a monthly thing where I'm getting $3 from 30 people every month. And so that's great. That's $90 or whatever. I can take Beth to McDonald's or whatever, in and out. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. So I'm not sure. I should do some more research on it. I should ask Kelly. Kelly does okay with Patreon too, Kelly Jekyll, and so I sometimes, in fact, I just did another Christmas song for her, and she pays me to do these where I create the track that she's going to sing over, and then we mix it and she posts it, and somebody pays her. Somebody may pay, oh, I'll give you $1,000 to do this song, kind of thing, and so then it's like, okay, that's worth my time. So I think that's what happens a lot of times. she gets, these, but I think she has to finish it to get the money. To Quist. Yeah, let me see. Quist is, yeah, I could. Yeah, and I think he has 347,000 subscribers. So he's about double me. Quist Jam. He's been doing this for a long time. So there's a billion jams up there. So there's Quist. Nice guy. We're going to get together again soon. I'm actually going to do, so he'll do guest soloists. I'm actually going to do one, which is good. It's when I do the Paul Davids interviews, when he comes over and we hang out, he will often, I think, those videos are going to do, I'm going to get a lot more subscribers. Like, I thought I would get 20,000 more subscribers from having him feature me on his channel. I got 2,000 more subscribers. And I probably lost half of them when they realized, Tom's a beginner. I mean, not a beginner, but Tom teaches beginners mostly. So, yeah, you just never know. I mean, I usually lose subscribers on the live stream. You know that? I've told you that, right? So, because people get the notification that I'm live and they're like, and they go to YouTube and there's my live thing and they're like, oh, shoot, I don't want to see that. Yeah, so it looks like Quist, he posts about let's see, 2 days ago, 9 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So he does one every week. And then, so he's got the new one. I'm going to have to turn off my sound here. I'm going to pull it up. I want to see in the info what it says. So he's got 1,700 views of this already. Play along starts at 1:15. You can skip to that. That's smart. More backing tracks. He's got links to other things. Check out the Blues Bundle. Download my free practice tips PDF. Okay. Blues Bundle, $40, and it must be like, what is it? Jam tracks. Wow, he's got a ton of jam tracks. So he's got a website that you can go to and order stuff. Yeah, he's very like, and he does other. He's a gigging guitar player too. So it's not like he's just doing that. He's a very good guitar player, and like I said, super sweet guy. But yeah, so maybe Justin, if you want, if there's some thoughts about. Bruce, let me know if the people post thoughts about Patreon. I doubt I'll change anything I'm doing here if I do Patreon. The only thing that might change is if I do some transcription or something, which I really don't do those very often. Those might be for purchase at my Patreon or whatever. And I'm not sure. I could do $1. You give me $1 and I get 70 cents of that. I'm not sure what percentage. Who's that, Richard? Who's that? Become a gamer. Yeah. Yeah, do a gaming, do Twitch. I thought about Twitch. I actually had Twitch. I think I did Twitch once. I think I did a jam live Twitch. I don't know if it's still up there, but I think I have an account where I was just jamming and just streamed to Twitch, and I had one person the whole time. It was hilarious. I could do that with my YouTube channel too. I could just... I could have run the camera while I'm working on something, but sometimes I'm working on something I don't want people I don't want anybody to steal that and then do it. But okay, I should really go. I need to log out. Take care, everybody. I appreciate you all. Have a great Thanksgiving. Try to hang out with some people. Don't be alone on that day. I don't know what that looks like. Joseph, I'm not sure if you have family nearby. Charlie, I know it's tough for you, but if you, even if you just hang out with, or the best thing to do if on days like that, if you have nobody to hang out with, is to volunteer. Work at a soup kitchen or, something. helping other people, and then you'll meet a lot of people. You'll make some friends. Serving is always a great way of feeling better about yourself. So he uses Twitch as well. Yeah, Twitch is where you would go to do a gaming thing. I don't even have a game console. I just don't. EA said they would give me one. All I need is to go over to the office and pick out one. They give me any one I want, and I just never have done it. So, and their office isn't even that far away, but it's fine. My friend doesn't have a studio there anymore, so I don't really have a reason to go there. So anyway, everybody, God bless you. I will talk to you soon. Next Monday, I think looks good. I think I've got stuff going on next week, but I don't think it's on Monday. So I'll